Okay, the regular Eveleth City Council meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. October 4th will now come to order. Roll call.
Counselor Hoag.
Here.
Counselor Koivunen.
Here.
Counselor Lillis.
Here.
Counselor Hadrava.
Here.
Mayor Vasilevich.
Here. Approval of the minutes. City Council workshop September 20th and City Council meeting September 20th. No one has any changes or omissions, additions? Call for a motion that we approve the minutes as printed.
So moved.
Motion made by Koivunen, do I have support? Support. Brian, did you make it?
Yes, sir.
You two sound freaking alike. You
We
better have
do.
me change seats here.
No, he's got a short one.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item D, approval of tonight's agenda. Under consent agenda, we'll remove item number 2, approval of claims for September. And we have an addition to new business, item J8, utility easement. Anybody else have any other additions or deletions to the agenda? If not, I'll call for motion that we approve the agenda with these changes.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have no appointments or presentations at this time. Anyone from the audience want to address the city council? If not, I'll allow time after the meeting. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Item number 1, approval of payroll, September 1st through the 5th. And item 3 and 4, those are demo grants, aren't they, Jackie? Yes. From the IRRB. Any questions or discussion? If not, call for a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Jackie? Yes. What was, I was going through 3 and 4, what exactly is 3 and 4 on there?
So the IRRB has their residential demolition program, and I applied for that. And the grants are being awarded, but the reason there's 2 of them is that their online system had a limit of how many properties I could list on each grant app. And I had like 6 I was applying for. So I had to break it up into 2 separate applications.
Oh, okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. No public hearings.
We didn't make a motion,
I
Mayor.
thought we did.
No.
No.
We got a question before we got to that point.
Oh, okay.
I'll make the motion then.
I was hoping you would. You held us up. Motion made by Hoag. Do you have support?
I'll support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You know, I'm getting old. Don't be messing with my these meetings. Under new business, item J1, resolution adopting revised water, sewer, and refuse rates. This has been a lengthy process initiated by our loan for the West Eveleth Water Tower. We have to bring our rates in line so we can show proof that we can repay the loan. But I think this was done in a real good, fair manner, 2-step system, and once UTAC is fully online, we can reassess where we're at, because we took a couple big hits with them down for a year as far as profitability in that area. If no one has any questions, call for a motion that we approve this new rate schedule. Do we have to have a start date, Jackie said? Or is that in?
Step 1 will be
okay.
effective 10/31.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Hadrava. Do I have a support?
I'll support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2, commercial lease between the city of Eveleth and Tamara Koivunen doing business as JT Sales for 206 McKinley Ave, Eveleth. What is this, the second renewal on that lease? The third? First? How long you guys been down there?
I have to abstain from this.
You can been there a couple of years for sure, eh? Was there one?
I think so, yeah. You been there
About a year.
One. Seems like two.
Maybe we should think about this.
Mayor, the original lease was a straight lease. This is a lease purchase agreement.
Oh, okay.
So it's a replacement to that original lease. The timing is if that one expired, this one comes into play. But it's the same type of a structure we have as with Blackwoods. There's a value of improvements that they would be putting into the project, and that's what's paying for the asset of the building.
Okay.
Well, I like the building and I like the business. I will make a motion that we accept this lease.
Do I have a support to that motion?
I'll support. I think that it's adding value to our community. Very happy to support that.
Definitely. Motion made by Hadrava, support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 3, commercial lease agreement between the City of Eveleth and Clark Blackwoods and Blackwoods Concrete for 408 Vale Road, Eveleth. And that is, Dave, the lease purchase also, right?
That is the lease purchase. We had the right of entry agreement that was in there. This takes all that out. This is a purchase agreement that actually has a market value improvement that is greater than the market value of the asset. It's really a good thing. I think all of you recognize it to be a big improvement to that section of downtown.
I can talk on this one. I can talk on this one. I just want to say it's a great addition to the city of Eveleth, and he's doing wonderful things down there, and it's kind of at the pinpoint in the town on the main street. And I know Clark does everything first class, so when he gets done with it, it's going to look really nice.
He actually calls us up and tells us when he's doing things, which is nice too.
And this is his really busy time of year too, so he's got to tie everything up. So I say thank you, because I know you're going to do a good job on that building.
No, I appreciate that, Clark. It's not easy to get investment in the downtowns of these old communities. Everybody wants to be out on a highway. So we need a little sprucing up, and that's gonna look good right at the end of the main street.
Well, I'm gonna see if he takes time off for deer season or not. If he works through deer season, then I know his heart's in it, so.
We're talking deer season. Come on. You've got to give him a break. With that, I'll make the motion.
I'll
Did
second.
you exclude deer season from that motion?
No, he should be able to go deer season for a couple hours, like days.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 4, purchase agreement and related documents between the City of Eveleth and Nick and Jess for 227 McKinley Avenue, Eveleth.
This is a long time coming transaction, as all of you know. This ends up being the purchase agreement for the Eveleth Health Service Park for the nursing home facility and all the related areas. Within that agreement, there is a cooperative agreement that also protects and has them continuing to do the maintenance and for the parking lot, which is a joint issue between that organization, the City of Eveleth, and Fresenius Dialysis Center. So that's interwoven inside this agreement. This is a purchase agreement. They have paid back the city the loan amount of money. Part of this purchase agreement is that the current lease payments are forgiven in this transaction based on the capital improvements that they're continuing to do on the project. Their capital improvement projection is still very significant and much greater than the current asset value of the building.
I know this was talked about, how many years ago?
This is the final piece of this puzzle.
Been a few hiccups,
We are
but now we're
finally,
done.
we have a profitable facility and the city no longer has liability.
So we are selling that building.
Yes,
Yes.
I want to make clear.
People know.
Yeah, it does not, we're selling the old Eveleth Health Services Park. It does not include the dialysis center, which we still own and have a long-term lease with Fresenius on.
And the clinic
And
is
the
still
clinic.
ours.
And the clinic is on.
Clinic is still
And I
ours.
would just like to say that I was on that board for many years, and almost once every 6 months to twice a year, the board, which I'll give them my hats off because they tried, but they were always having to go to the coffers. It's a lot different than when Mr. Begich was there than when he could just go get the money. And now you can't do that, you have to go legally. That place was in dire needs and in big trouble. So I'd like to thank the couple that's there too, because otherwise we don't know what would have happened with that building. And now it's got a good positive cash flow. It's in good hands, a lot of good things, but it's like anything else. You will hear a bad thing here and there. You know, nothing's perfect. But we were running with a train wreck with that building until they took it over. So I really think it's going in the right direction now. And Dave, you did a lot of work on that. So I'd like to thank you and Jackie both, because I was on the board with it and I know it was a nightmare.
Well, you know, two issues that always came up were that hospital and the Hockey Hall of Fame. Well, the Hockey Hall of Fame got handled a number of years back, and that's taken care of itself. Now this.
Yep.
Well, they own another chunk of property in town too, down the old Willowwood. That's
Yep, the
theirs
old
also.
Willowwood now, they're doing it, they're, another one thing that they're taking over, and there was a big mess when they got it, and they're turning it around, and there's a lot of people employed in both of these places. And that's what the bottom dollar is. Here's the employment by the people of Eveleth, and there is a lot to employed there.
They got a big investment in town.
You bet they
And
do.
it's,
Necessity
they're
for
good
that
corporate
service
citizens.
too.
And we are all getting old, so we could be visiting it.
So, Mr. Celine, just for people of Eveleth understand, the value or the price we're selling it for is very low, but the improvements that have to be made is very high in cost. And so they still have to make these improvements.
In a general statement, that's correct.
Okay, just for, people are probably going at home going, what?
The technical price we're selling it for is very low, and that it's a transactional number. The reality is that as consideration for that, they have agreed and have completed the process of paying back the city all of the debt obligations that were outstanding on their property.
Yeah.
They
it's
paid back
considerable.
the city on, they paid lease payments on that building that have been applied, and they have a capital investment number, and I don't have the document in front of me, but isn't it about $100,000, Jackie? $100,000 worth of additional capital improvements that they are going to be doing. That's subject to, and that's a condition of the transaction. So the actual purchase agreement here is they are investing significantly more than $100,000 in this transaction. I think that's the number you're looking for.
And so it's a win-win for the
It's great for the
residents of
city.
Eveleth.
The city no longer has an obligation. The taxpayer is no longer worrying about making a debt payment to pay payroll for the nursing home, as the council has already made reference to. The liability is gone, the asset is gone. It'll be perpetual there as a facility, and we have a good working relationship with them to maintain our portion of responsibilities of the city of Eveleth in maintaining the Fresenius Medical Center. So all those things are very beneficial to the
Because
city.
we borrowed considerable amount of money about 5 years ago. Keep it going. I think there's a bank note. They took care of that.
Okay, that's been paid off,
That was to the local bank, and now it's on the tax rolls.
right?
So it's a win-win, a big building like that.
And is this just the building? This isn't the green space?
This is just the building and the land in which it is on. It does not include the green space that is on Fail Road, if that's what you're making reference to. It does include the parking lots that are related to the facility.
It does not?
It does
It
include
does.
the
Oh, it
parking
does.
lots
Okay.
that are related to facilities, but the front parking lot has a shared use agreement that goes back to Fresenius.
Okay, thanks for clarifying
Yep.
all that.
Thank you, David. Now, did anybody make a motion that we approve this agreement? I don't want to jump ahead of everybody here.
I will make that motion.
Okay. Bradley, you're making a motion that we approve this purchase agreement. Do I have a support?
I'll support.
Support by Hoag. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 5, bids for auditorium and fire hall roofing.
Now we spend money.
Well, I'll tell you what,
We need it.
the bids are extremely competitive. And the low bid was by a pretty reputable contractor that's been doing roofs for many, many years here.
They've done work for us before in the city.
Oh, they've done a lot of work. For the major employed mining companies, things like that. They know what they're doing. My only thing is we're getting a lot of interest in that building next year for activity rental, that we can get the inside presentable cosmetically, because people are getting anxious to use that thing in the
Yes.
spring. And I've been getting a lot of people asking me, some class reunions and
To the prom.
Maybe a wedding or two?
So-
Been asked, people wanted weddings.
So are you, is the architect working diligently on that part of it, Jackie?
Yes, actually, the air conditioning bids are this week, and then the interior general construction are due October, late October, so you'll see them the first week of November.
It's $153,000. Now that does both the fire hall and the auditorium. I suppose their proximity makes the bidding a little easier for these guys.
It's really weird when you go look at it. It's two separate buildings, but it looks like it's one.
Yeah.
You know, so it is kind of good, and I know it seems high, but it's, like you says, it's two buildings, and it'll be good for our lifetime. You know,
20 years,
and
yeah,
it's
20 years are usually good for us.
Well, what it cost you to roof the pavilion out the lake park? 30 grand?
30 grand,
30 grand.
30 plus.
And look at those two compared, so.
Plus, we have a lot going on this building.
Yeah.
Actually, both. We got our fire crew in one, and, you know, this and another, so I think that's just we should just go with it with range corners.
That's a good price.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I'd like to get the inside done first, but it's pretty hard to beat that number. Pretty hard to beat that price, especially from, that vendor.
Yep.
You know, they're really good.
If I'm not mistaken, they did the roof on our Rock Curling Club too. So,
Especially the big commercial projects, that's kind of their specialty for many years.
and they're very good about coming back to fix stuff. and-
Yeah. Well, should we pull the trigger and call for a motion that we award that bid to Range Cornerstone Roofing for $153,300?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Hoag, do I have a support?
I'll support it.
Support by Koivunen. Any further discussion?
We're one step further.
We're getting close to the finish line here, guys, with this thing. No further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Item number 6, authorize city engineer to proceed with field work and design services for 2017 street improvement projects. Did we kind of narrow it down enough so Rod's got an idea of what we're looking at here?
Rock, you remember which ones we were talking about?
I think so, yeah. We were looking at two streets in West Eveleth, be on Second Avenue West between 16th and 17th. We were looking at doing a section 15th Avenue right south of Second Avenue. And then we were looking at three alleys in town here, one between Hayes and Garfield in a 200 block. One up on the east side, which is between Jefferson and Madison. And the third one was Lenich Avenue, from, I believe, Jackson to Jones. Or no, it'd be from Hayes to Jones.
Well, it is all needed, so.
Hey Rod, do you have any idea when the county is gonna let the bids out for the 101?
The discussions I've heard is in 27, next summer.
Think we can kind of coordinate the West Eveleth bids the same time? Maybe we might get a little break on the price if you got a lot of work in that area?
I'm sure we can. No, I just need better contact from there and staying, running the projects for me.
Has anybody been out there over the railroad tracks yet?
I was there the other day,
How are those?
They're better. They're not
They're not
perfect, but
great.
They're better.
but about 3/4 of a cup of coffee is about all you could have in your cup to go over. Otherwise, you're gonna feel it.
County Commissioner Nelson, I called him, and he assures me that once we bring the grade of the road up to those tracks, that it will be way nicer.
I towed the trailer over it, and it was actually about 75% better than it was.
Because I did call him after I went over them, so.
Well, one of the residents told me out there was a car with a tire knocked off a while back.
No,
It
it was
moved too
bad.
fast.
Yep.
But yeah, that was just awful, and 37 was getting just as bad over there. They had to really chase the county, they had to go right to corporate in Winnipeg to get them doing it, to get any action on that. Well, that's good, that's an improvement anyway. That was really ugly with what's going on 53. You couldn't even detour around there.
Yeah.
Terrible stretch. Well, you call for a motion that we authorize the city engineer to do the preliminary work on these projects.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Drava, do I have support?
I'll support.
Support by Hoag. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 7, animal control contract with Contented Critters. Chief, is this the second year we went or third year with them?
Mayor, this would be the beginning of our third year.
Third year?
Just completing 2 years now.
Seem to have pretty good service from them.
I have no complaints. My staff has no complaints. They've been very, very good for us.
I know some residents who had dogs picked up, they called them, and on weekend they came out there so you can get the dog, and I thought they've been real accommodating, the residents in town. Well, that's a good one. That's working out anyway. If no one has any questions, make a motion that we take the recommendation of the chief and approve the contract with Contented Critters.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Motion made by Drava, support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And item J8, which we added, temporary utility easement. Doug, and that was with Minnesota Power on their project out here?
Yes, Mayor, it's in relation to the Hat Trick parcel there, and our position that we've been taking in the negotiations were that there were 4 easements in that one parcel that all cross each other, and that maybe the best way to lay a good foundation of the future is to get one easement agreement that encompasses all of them. So that's why this is temporary, pending negotiation of that kind of an agreement. So,
Well, they're moving pretty good. I don't want to slow them up.
that was our motivation for doing the temporary one.
If no one has any questions, call for a motion that we approve this temporary utility easement.
I make that motion.
Motion made by Hadrava, do I have a support? Support. And Brian, is that you? You guys are gonna have to switch seats over here. I can't tell you apart anymore.
I'm lonely over here.
I better start reading those hearing aid ads I get in the mail. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Anybody have any commission or board reports from anything?
I have nothing there.
Nothing. Joel?
I have nothing.
Brian?
No, sir.
Bradley?
Nothing at this time as far as the boards and stuff go, but I've got some thoughts I'd like to share with the public. One, we've been working on the bike trail and the snowmobile and the four-wheeler trail, and the county has seen fit to help us with the county road problems, and we thank them for their efforts, and it's going to make life a lot easier for us. We are still working on Station 44 part of the trail. For everybody who thinks that we are not, we are continually working. We just keep running into roadblocks to put a road there. But we'll get there, so bear with us. The next thing I'd like to say is to our elderly and to our people that just before I came to a council meeting tonight, I received a phone call. And this lady, unfortunately, was a foreign lady, and she told me that I qualified for a $9,000 grant. And I said, oh, really? Yes, the U.S. government has given all of us $9,000, blah, blah, blah. She gave me a number to call, and she gave me a verification number. A gentleman answered the phone, and he said, yes, all you have to do is send me $193, and we will send you $9,193 in return. So I say to our residents, bear on the side of caution. No sense in wasting $193. If it was truly a grant, they wouldn't charge you for it. So that's what I have to say.
So when's it coming?
So you owed $193?
No, I did not bite this time. I can't say I've never bit, but I didn't bite this time.
We got a call a while back where there's that warrant for your arrest from the IRS, you know? So my wife tells the guy on the phone, she goes, "Could you hang on a minute till I get my husband?"
Oh, boy.
She goes, "Oh, yeah, who's your husband?" "He's the chief of police." He hung up the phone. Yeah, there's so many scams out there, it's just unbelievable, the calls you get. You gotta be sharp and ask questions, you know? Better to err on the side of caution. But I don't have anything extra to bring up tonight. Steph, do you have anything to add? Election time's coming. Chief, you got anything else to?
Mayor and Council, I would just like to remind the public, see the little yellow cards, October 1st brings calendar parking. We are going to try to be diligent this year. Calendar parking, again, is 24 hours a day. And it alleviates a lot of problems for the Public Works Department. For the first 2 weeks, you might see these yellow cards, they're warning cards that we're putting out on everybody's vehicles so they can get acclimated once the 15th comes around. So we're asking everybody, please be cautious on which side of the street you're parking. If you have any questions, please give the police department a call.
We used to have November 1st to tell that Halloween storm. Was it a mess? Cars all over. That was a bad one. Jerry, you got anything to add?
I was just gonna add, Mayor, we still have the fall cleanup going on till the end of next week down at the city garage, so if you're cleaning out your garages, yards, anything, bring your stuff down.
I heard it's been pretty busy down there.
Yeah, it's been a good year. Good year for cleanup. It's been nice weather though, so that's what brings them out.
Well, it makes it easier for people when that's where they have to go to get rid of that stuff too, you know.
And a lot cheaper.
Yeah, everybody's time is important.
So, and then we'll be in the alleys next week. We'll start in the alleys and we go through one time, so get all your leaves, brush, anything you need out in the alleys.
So
or in the street if you can't put it out in the.
Alleys is next week.
Starting next week, starting Monday.
You start down Morningside area, work this way, is it?
One way or the other, we do it different.
Well, the leaves haven't fallen off my 7 trees yet, Jerry. Can you give them a
Can
little
you
time
shake,
to fall
can you
off?
shake it at all?
Start picking.
Thank you.
Rod, you have anything to add for tonight?
Nothing else to report unless you have any questions.
Jackie, you have anything to add? Doug, you got?
No, I don't.
We're all good? Anybody from the audience have anything? If not, I'll adjourn the meeting.